Glad to have you back for our conversation. There are indications that the organization may consider participating in additional trades this offseason. Reports suggest various options are being assessed from a trading standpoint, although they haven't reached the point of solidifying any agreements yet. This time frame offers a valuable opportunity for dialogue with fellow team owners and general managers, resembling a negotiation scenario. These conversations can either progress swiftly or take longer, as they involve evaluating what the team is prepared to offer against what another team seeks in return. Often, patience is essential when evaluating specific players. The organization has already finalized 2 trades, one involving a player and another concerning a different athlete. The lingering question is whether another trade will materialize before the NFL draft concludes. Speculations can be shared in the comments section of today's conversation. It is worth noting that openness regarding intentions has been prioritized. There were indications of potential trades, and a clear outline of plans was presented before a player was acquired. During the free agency phase, signals of ongoing efforts to finalize some trades surfaced, leading to 2 successful transactions. The third day of the NFL draft is often viewed as a pivotal moment for significant advantages and impactful trades. Facilitating mid to late round selections, such as one of the 5th round, 6th round, or 7th round picks, in exchange for a one-season acquisition of a veteran player frequently proves advantageous. The trade for one player was successful, while the acquisition of another showed mixed results yet still involved a 5th round selection. A different trade yielded positive results for another team, and reflecting on these transactions indicates favorable outcomes overall. With 3 picks among the top 145, it is evident that addressing needs at running back, wide receiver, cornerback, defensive tackle, defensive end, and backup quarterback poses a formidable challenge, which will be explored in greater depth shortly. Even the linebacker position may gain from additional talent. The intricacies of trading are quite captivating. With 3 selections in the top 145, it's clear that filling every position on the roster is a daunting endeavor. There are requirements at running back, wide receiver, cornerback, defensive tackle, defensive end, and even backup quarterback, which will be analyzed further soon. Moreover, the linebacker role could benefit from extra talent, and attention must also focus on the offensive line. The safety position opens avenues for unconventional choices. It is impractical to anticipate that a choice made at pick 211 will significantly influence the team as a rookie. However, exchanging a pick 211 for an experienced player introduces an intriguing dynamic, as this could yield significant value. As we approach the conclusion of the 25th NFL Draft, the question arises, how many trades will the Dallas football team make? We can reflect on expectations regarding the number of transactions, with the possibility of making none being a completely viable alternative. Shifting focus to quarterbacks and other positions, it is worth noting that rumors about trades involving a specific player have resurfaced. This time, the issue started with the athlete himself, who shared his thoughts on social media one Sunday night, commenting on the chance of a trade in response to an analyst from the team, using a laughing emoji. Following that, debates about his potential candidacy for a trade began, which was intensified by the players sharing a peace sign. The storyline surrounding this possible trade is full of buzz. If I were a fan of the team in question, I would probably be feeling exhausted and frustrated with the constant back and forth of information. In summary, since the start of this year, after the last season ended, there was communication to the press expressing dissatisfaction with the team's performance and a desire for change. However, a conversation was held with the team members, which did not result in a formal trade request, and the intention to stay with the team until 2025 was mentioned. Yet, the situation seems to be complicating once again. Later on, new discussions were held with the team, with no mention of a desire to leave. During another conversation, an emotional state was mentioned, and the absence of a trade request was confirmed, reaffirming the intention to stay with the team until 2025. However, the situation is being reevaluated, which could be interpreted as a misalignment. During league owner meetings, questions arose about the current landscape, highlighting that the athlete frequently appears at the training center and is known for his social media posts. It was stated that the situation is favorable, and a trade is not believed to be likely. It's noteworthy that other players are showing interest, although this combination may not be the best fit considering the team's needs. The ideal approach for the team is still unclear, especially given some questions surrounding one particular player. On the field, he stands out as a talented athlete, and despite a dip in his numbers due to injuries and the underperformance of the quarterback, he remains a receiver who racks up thousands of yards, bringing the desired speed to the team. However, the main challenge persists in the contractual issue. The current team would face a significant hit to their salary cap if a trade were made, impacting $27.7 million, with additional financial loss in case of transaction. The new team would need to cover a substantial amount this year, as well as a significant cash cost. The impact the following year would be even greater, something the team seeks to avoid. If the decision is to release the player after 1 year, an additional cost would also arise. Therefore, this is either a 1-year loan with a high cost or a growing commitment for the second year, resulting in a substantial total. This is a considerable amount for a receiver. Interest in the topic is palpable, with many questions appearing on social media after related statements. It was also noted that there was a meeting between players at an event, which may have generated more speculations. However, this does not seem to align with the team's usual way of operating. The issue surfaced right after Steve commented, "I understand that Micah and Tyreek participated in a charity event together, which explains the situation. However, this doesn't reflect how the Cowboys operate. It's not how they usually manage their business, so I wouldn't get my hopes up. I doubt this will be the strategy they follow." The possibility of trading a third-day pick for a less costly receiver may exist, but I'd be surprised if they went down that path, given what we know about their practices. At this moment, the options for the 2025 NFL Draft are already on the market, with caps and some T-shirts revealed for the new season. The Small America's Team logo on one of the caps is optional, but to me, it makes sense for the Cowboys. I've seen worse draft caps than these. There were seasons when the designs left much to be desired. These are well presented. What truly catches my attention and seems more viable in terms of trade is the quarterback position. Stephen Jones specifically mentioned, as we discussed on the live show last Monday, that acquiring a backup quarterback could be an option for the Cowboys, and negotiating for a backup QB makes sense. There are some names I want to examine. The first is Joe Milton III, the former quarterback from Tennessee and Michigan, now with the Patriots. There's information that the Cowboys liked him when he left college, which I believe to be true, but if they really wanted him that much, they would have found a way to select him. I don't think they would have let that opportunity slip by. The interest in Joe Milton is interesting because it seems he is indeed available. The value may be an issue, and you can understand everything you need to know about him by comparing his standout performance in the last regular season game. Although it was against a backup Bills team that wasn't really trying, and his disappointing performance in the preseason. Depending on the highlights you watch, if you focus on the best 10 plays of Joe Milton, he might look like one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. He's physically impressive, extremely athletic, and has a powerful arm. On the other hand, the worst 10 plays make him look like a player who would struggle to make an NFL roster right now. I'm reasonably convinced that this is his reality. He will probably remain inconsistent. This justifies my lack of high expectations for him coming out of Tennessee, and it fuels speculation that he could eventually become a tight end. Brades and Nick Harris mentioned that the Cowboys have shown interest in Harris, while the Patriots are asking for a third-round pick, which I don't like. I don't believe the Cowboys would trade a third-round pick for a backup quarterback, as this type of transaction is uncommon. He's currently in a starting position and could be considered as such in 2 years, if not sooner. If there's no 4th-round pick available, but they could get him in exchange for a 5th or 6th-round pick, that could seem more appealing. So, what draft pick would you be willing to offer for Joe Milton? 2 other names worth considering are both backup quarterbacks from the Saints, who recently brought back their starter and may be looking for a new player in the draft. Spencer Rattler and Jake Haener from South Carolina are names that pop up. Rattler had a chance to start last season, but didn't stand out, making him a potential third-day pick. we have a general understanding of his skill level. Haener, who could have been selected by the Cowboys a few years ago if circumstances had been more favorable, also failed to impress. However, you're primarily looking for affordable backup quarterbacks on the third day, as teams tend not to favor trading their backup quarterbacks. This is why the options are limited. I almost included Hooker on this list, but he is currently a backup in Detroit. Great. However, we are analyzing backup quarterbacks with an affordable cost who are available on the third day of the draft. These are the options that can be found, as teams usually hesitate to release their backup quarterbacks, which greatly limits the choice of available players. I almost added a specific athlete to this conversation, but he is currently a backup in Detroit. Next, we have a quarterback from the Cardinals who is from the same draft class as another player. He might be available, even without much time on the field. My assessment of him was more positive compared to most analysts when he came out of Houston. All of these athletes have a similar profile. They are young quarterbacks. It's likely that the team has a draft evaluation for them, and their status as a backup quarterback may vary. Some changes in coaching staff, especially in other teams, might open up room for these players to be released. With this in mind, the list of available options is not very exciting. This is why looking for free agents and using the draft becomes a viable approach. We will have more information about the team, including discussions about trades and speculations related to the draft and free agency. Let's explore this subject. An article mentioned a trade involving a specific player, and I noticed that many reached out or asked questions about it. This trade proposal generated interest in various media outlets and, at times, resulted in alarming headlines. The proposal was for the team to acquire this player, while the other team would receive 2 third-round picks, which, in terms of trade value, could be considered acceptable. However, the main concern lies in the financial aspect. The team would lose a significant amount of cap space, as they owe him a considerable amount of money. On the other hand, the team receiving the player would have to deal with a smaller cost, but would also face a significant option bonus. So, would you consider a 1-year deal or start thinking about a longer term that could involve an even larger sum? To me, this proposal doesn't seem very viable. The idea of a trade between these two teams, does it align with how they usually operate? I know, but before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. Imagine the seismic impact if Derrick Henry, the NFL's King Henry, had donned the iconic star of the Dallas Cowboys. This tantalizing prospect captivated fans and analysts alike during the 2024 offseason, sparking fervent discussions about the potential transformation of Dallas's ground game. Residing in Dallas during the offseason, Henry himself acknowledged the allure of joining the Cowboys, describing it as a perfect situation. Despite his openness, the Cowboys' front office remained conspicuously silent, never initiating contact with the star running back. Henry revealed, "They ain't holla at me at all," highlighting the one-sided nature of the interest. Instead, Henry inked a 2-year deal with the Baltimore Ravens, a move that left many questioning Dallas's strategic direction. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones addressed the decision, citing concerns over Henry's fit within their offensive scheme and the financial implications of his contract. Jones remarked, "We don't run that type of offense at all." The ramifications of this choice became evident as the 2024 season unfolded. Henry thrived in Baltimore, leading the league in rushing and reinforcing his status as one of the game's elite backs. Conversely, the Cowboys' ground attack faltered, averaging a mere 77.2 yards per game after 7 weeks, placing them at the bottom of the league rankings. As the dust settled, Henry's decision to sell his Dallas home for $1.6 million below the asking price symbolized the closing of this speculative chapter. While the dream of Henry wearing Cowboys blue captivated imaginations, the reality serves as a poignant reminder of the complexities and missed opportunities inherent in NFL roster decisions. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.